Morning student, today I am going to explain you in history chapter 7 India during the Maurya period. In this chapter see that 7.1 and 7.2 they are most important. 7.1 that is the Greek Emperor Alexander's invasions and 7.2 that is the Maurya Empire that we are going to learn in this chapter. Do you know in the 6th century BCE, a king named Cyrus had established a vast empire in Iran. This empire extended from northwest India to Rome and to Egypt in Africa. See students, 6th century BCE means what? The full form of BCE is before the Common Era. A king named Cyrus, he established a vast empire in Iran, and this empire extended, that means he expanded his empire from northwest India to Rome and to Egypt in Africa. Around 518 BCE, an Iranian emperor named Darius had conquered the region to the northwest of India up to Punjab. See students, around 518 BCE, an Iranian emperor name is Darius. He had conquered, that means he has won the region up to northwest of India, up to Punjab. He had recruited some soldiers, that means he was obtained some soldiers from this area. That means some soldiers are joined from this area into his army. We learn about this from the writing of Greek historian. From where we have learned this? From the writing of Greek historian. Political relations between India and Iran were established during the reign of Emperor Darius. When Emperor Darius was there on that time, political relations between India and Iran were established. This led to greater exchanges in the fields of trade and art, and that made what happen? It made greater exchanges in the fields of trade and art, trading. Emperor Darius had introduced a uniform currency, and also Darius had introduced a uniform currency called Darik in all parts of his empire. This made trading easier, and because of that, what happened? That trading became very easy. The capital city of Persepolis was built during his reign. That means the capital city of the Persepolis were built during his rule, and Persepolis is in Iran. See students, this is a Darik currency, uniform currency. That Darius had introduced a uniform currency called Darik. See the picture. 7.1 The Greek Emperor Alexander's invasion. You know students, invasion means what? Attack. Alexander the Greek Emperor invaded India's northwestern frontier in 326 BCE. You know students, who invaded India in 326 BCE? So your answer will be there. Alexander the Greek Emperor invaded India's northwestern frontier in 326 BCE. See picture, Emperor Alexander. Can you see in your textbook? Emperor Alexander crossing the Indus, that is Sindhu river, he reached Takshila. That means crossing the Indus river, Sindhu river, he reached to Takshila. On the way, he met with forceful opposition from the local Indian king. That means on the way, what happened? That he met with forceful opposition from the local Indian king. Means local Indian king are totally against, and afterwards what happened? That Alexander defeated them all. And all the local Indian rulers, kings, Alexander defeated all of them and successfully reached the Punjab. However, in this invasion, that means in this attack, his army had to suffer severe hardship. That means his army are totally they have suffered very severe hardship. They are very tired because they have to fight so many local Indians ruler, local Indians king, and because of that, army had to suffer severe hardship. Now the soldiers were eager to go back home. Now the Emperor Alexander's soldiers, they are really very eager to go back home, and because of that they rebelled against Alexander, means they revolt against Alexander, and he was forced to turn back, and because of that Alexander was forced to turn back, because soldiers are really very tired and now they are eager to go back home, and because of that what happened, that Alexander was forced to turn back. He therefore appointed Greek officer to administer the conquered territories. That means which territories Alexander was captured, conquered, to look that place Emperor Alexander appointed Greek officer to administer the conquered territories, and they were called satraps. Okay students, that means appointed officers were called satraps. He started his return journey. That means Alexander started his return journey but died on the way back in 323 BCE. And that means he started his return journey but he died on the way back in 323 BCE. At where? At Babylon. And today Babylon is in Iraq. Alexander campaign led to an increase in the trade between India and the Western world. Because of the Alexander campaign, student, what happened, that increase in the trade between India and Western world. The historian who accompanied Alexander's introduced India to the Western world through their writing. And this way Alexander was introduced India to the Western world through their writing. Greek sculpture influenced Indian art, giving rise to the Gandhara school of art, and because of that what happened, that Greek sculpture influenced Indian art and giving rise to the Gandhara school of art. The Greek kings minted characteristics coin, means their features in the coins. What were there? On one side the coin had a picture of the king who had minted the coin, and on the other side a picture of the Greek god. That means what are the features are there in this coin, student? One side what happened, who has minted the coin, their names, that king's name and their pictures will be there, and on the other side a picture of the Greek god. So these are the features are there in the coin. Okay, the name of the king was also written on the coin, and name, that means the picture also there and the name also there. Alexander's coins were of the same time, and same time this Alexander's coin also there. Later Indians king also started minting similar coins. Afterwards what happened, that Indian kings also started minting similar coins. See the picture, Alexander's silver coins both the side. Can you see that? One side Greek gods and one side that pictures of that king Alexander's. See the Alexander's silver coin both the side. 10.2 The Maurya Empire. Chandragupta Maurya. Now we are going to learn about that, about information about the Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya founded the Maurya Empire. You know student, who has founded the Maurya Empire? Chandragupta Maurya founded the Maurya Empire. People were tired of the tyrannical rule of the Nanda king. You know student, tyrannical means what? Who are very oppressive, who are controlling the peoples. People will not get any rights, any justice, means despotic king, we can say that. So peoples were tired of the tyrannical rule of the Nanda king of Magdha, that is Dhanananda. Chandragupta Maurya brought it to an end. That means Chandragupta Maurya defeated to Dhanananda. In this way Chandragupta Maurya brought it to an end and established his own rule in Magdha around 325 BCE. He owned Avanti and Saurashtra and began to expand the boundaries of his empire. That means Chandragupta Maurya was defeated to Dhanananda and he was established his own rule in Magdha around 325 BC. And he owned Avanti and Saurashtra and began to extend the boundaries of his empire. After Alexander's death a struggle for power began among the satraps. He had appointed, student, that Alexander was appointed to see a Greek officer to administer the conquered territories. That is because of the satraps. So after death of the Alexander, what happened? That struggle for power began among the satraps he had appointed. So now they started to make the struggle. Seleucus Nicator was Alexander's general. Students, who was Seleucus Nicator? So Seleucus Nicator was Alexander's general. He became the king of Babylon. And afterwards, after Alexander's death, who became the king of Babylon? That is Seleucus Nicator. He invaded the northwest frontier region of India and Punjab. So he invaded to the northwest frontier region of India and Punjab. Chandragupta Maurya successfully resisted his aggressions. That way Chandragupta Maurya defeated, and the defeat of Seleucus Nicator led to the inclusions of the northwest region of Kabul, Kandahar and Herat in the Maurya Empire. That means Chandragupta Maurya was defeated to Seleucus Nicator, and this way it led to the inclusions of the northwest region of the Kabul, Kandahar and Herat in the Maurya Empire. Visakhadatta, the Sanskrit playwright, wrote a play called Mudrakshas. It relates how Chandragupta Maurya defeated Dhanananda and established an independent power. That means how Chandragupta Maurya defeated Dhanananda and established his own independent power. The plot gives special importance to the contribution of Arya, Chanakya, that is known as Kautilya, and also the plot gives special importance to the contribution of the Arya, Chanakya, also known as Kautilya. Seleucus Nicator's ambassadors stayed back at Chandragupta's Maurya court. Student, that who stay back at Chandragupta's court? Your answer will be there. Megasthenes, Seleucus Nicator's ambassadors stay back at Chandragupta's Maurya court. Students, ambassador means what? An ambassador is an important official who lives in a foreign country and represent his or her own country's interest there. His book Indica is an important source for the study of India during the Maurya period. Students, which book did Megasthenes write? Megasthenes wrote the book Indica, which is an important source for the study of India during the Maurya period. There is an inscription stating that Emperor Chandragupta Maurya had built a dam called Sudarshan near Junagadh in Gujarat state. That means Chandragupta Maurya had built a dam called Sudarshan near Junagadh in Gujarat state. Do you know? According to the Jain tradition, it is believed that Chandragupta Maurya had accepted the Jain religion. That means, student, according to the Jain tradition, it is believed that Chandragupta Maurya had accepted the Jain religion. Towards the end of his life, he abdicated the throne and spent his remaining years at Shravanbelagola in Karnataka. That was where he breathed his last. And this way, towards the end of his life, he abdicated the throne and spent his remaining years at where? At Shravanbelagola in Karnataka. And that was where he breathed his last. Ashoka. After Chandragupta renounced the throne, he was succeeded by his son Bindusara. And after Bindusara's death, his son Ashoka succeeded to the throne in 273 BCE. See, students, Chandragupta Maurya's son Bindusara and Bindusara's son Ashoka. Ashoka had been appointed the governor of Takshila and Ujjain before he came to the throne. That means when he was not emperor, before that he was appointed as a governor. Of which place? Of Takshila and Ujjain. As the governor, he had successfully crushed the revolt at Takshila. So as a governor, he was crushed the revolt at Takshila. After becoming the emperor of Magdha, he launched a campaign against the state of Kalinga. When he became the emperor of Magdha, what he had done? He launched a campaign against the state of Kalinga. And Kalinga occupied the region of today's Odisha. Odisha state, Emperor Ashoka conquered Kalinga. And this way Emperor Ashoka conquered Kalinga. Ashoka's empire, that means after when he became the emperor, how he was expand his kingdom. Ashoka empire extended from Afghanistan in the northwest and Nepal in the north to Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh in the south, and from Bengal in the east to Saurashtra in the west. So all this place Emperor Ashoka empire was extended. See student, this is your India during the Maurya period map. And see the index. With the help of the index you come to know about that which place in stone inscriptions, which place pillar, and their Ashoka's empire extended. All you come to know about with the help of this index. See the index, Ashoka's stone inscriptions, and different symbols are shown here. Ashoka's pillar. See that box. Can you see that Ashoka's empire and present international boundaries of India and modern city. So different types of symbols are shown in your textbook, and with the help of that you can see in your map. Okay, this is also very, very important. India during the Maurya period. Okay. The Kalinga War. Emperor Ashoka was deeply moved by the bloodshed of the Kalinga War. In the Kalinga War, people are killed very large scale. People are injured very large scale. To see this, Emperor Ashoka was deeply moved by the bloodshed. Bloodshed means what? The killing and wounding of people, typically on a large scale during a war. And because of that, he decided never to wage a war again. And that's why he decided never to wage a war again. He came to believe that truth, non-violence, compassion and forgiveness were the important values. And this way he came to believe that truth means fact, non-violence, compassion means sympathy, and forgiveness were the 4 important values. And Ashoka wanted to spread this teaching among the people. And he wanted to spread this teaching among the peoples, and therefore he had pillar edicts and stone inscriptions engraved throughout his kingdom. And these writings are in the Brahmi script. In which script, student? It is in the Brahmi script. In these inscriptions, he is referred to as Devanampiyo Piyadashi, means beloved of the gods and he who looks on with affections. That means students, Devanampiyo Piyadashi means what? The name given to Emperor Ashoka, which means beloved of the gods and he who looks on with affections. Another inscription states that 8 years after he ascended the throne, he made the conquest of Kalinga and had a change of heart on seeing the devastation it caused. And this way, after, that means another inscription states that 8 years after when he ascended the throne, he made the conquest of Kalinga and had a change of heart on seeing the devastations it caused. Inscriptions of Emperor Ashoka at Delhi, Topda shows that he had put strict restrictions on the hunting of bats, monkey, rhinoceroses, and on setting fire to forest. And this way he was totally against of that nobody will kill any animals. And this way, through these inscriptions, It will show that he had put strict restrictions on the hunting of bats, monkey, rhinoceroses, and on setting fire to forest. See this picture, Emperor Ashoka. Ashoka's work for the spread of religion. See students, what types of work were for the spread of religions Emperor Ashoka had done. Ashoka had embraced Buddhism. Embrace means he accepted Buddhism. He had convened the third religious council on Buddhism at Patliputra. Where it is? Buddhism, that means third religious council on Buddhism at Patliputra. Ashoka sent his own son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka for the spread of Buddhism. See students, that means he had convened. Convened means what? Come or bring together for a meeting or activity. So Ashoka, King Ashoka, that is Emperor Ashoka, had convened the third religious council on Buddhism at Patliputra, and Ashoka sent his own son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka for the spread of Buddhism. He also sent Buddha bhikkhus to West Asia, and also he sent the Buddha bhikkhus to West Asia and Central Asia for spreading Buddhism. He also built many stupas and viharas, and this way he also built many stupas and viharas. Welfare activities. Emperor Ashoka laid stress on the creation of facilities for the welfare of the peoples. So let's see about the what types of welfare activities done by Emperor Ashoka. For example, he made provisions for free medicines and medical treatment for people as well as for animals. That means he had made free medicines and medical treatment for people as well as for animals. He built many roads, so many roads built by Emperor Ashoka, and planted trees for shade on both sides of the roads. And both the sides he planted trees. If people will walk from that place, they will get the shade from the trees. And also he dug wells and built dharmshalas. Means he dug wells and built dharmshalas means what? Especially a rest house for traveler. Now let's see about that administration during the Maurya period. Pataliputra was the capital of the Maurya Empire. For the sake of administrative convenience, the empire was divided into 4 regions. That means for the sake of administrative convenience, proper way, systematic way, the empire was divided into 4 regions, each with its own capital. So let's see about the first one is Eastern region, that is Toshali, Odisha. Western region Ujjaini, Madhya Pradesh. Southern region, that is Suvarnanagari, that is Kanakgiri in Karnataka. And fourth one is Northern region, that is Takshila, Pakistan. So this way the empire was divided into 4 regions and each with its own capital. There was a council of ministers which advised the king, and there was a council of ministers who were advising the king in matters of administration, how to administrate. There were many officers working at different levels. There are so many officers are there, and their works is different. Their works are divided different level. There was an efficient intelligence service which kept an eye on the administration and on the movement of enemy. So there was also an efficient intelligence department service which kept an eye on the administration and on the movement of enemy. And also they are giving the accurate and details knowledge to Emperor Ashoka, and this way there was an efficient intelligence service which kept an eye on the administration and on the movement of enemies. Life of the people during the Maurya period. See students, during the Maurya period, agriculture production have a great importance. Trade and other occupations had also prospered well. That means trade and other occupations also prospered well. There were many occupations like carving, sculpture, and engraving on ivory, weaving and dyeing cloth, and metal work. All of the occupation, different types of occupations. Black glazed pottery, pot making was also produced. Shipbuilding was carried out on a large scale. And students, shipbuilding was carried on a very large scale. In metalworks, the technology of making articles of other metals as well as those of iron had developed on that time. Different festivals and functions were celebrated in village and town. See students, different types of festivals and functions were celebrated in village and town. See students, the lion capital, and see that cave. It is a cave at Barabar. And dance and music concrete were a part of entertainment. On that time, dance and music concrete were a part of entertainment. Wrestling bouts and chariot race were popular, and so were board games and chess. Chess was called Ashtapad on that time. These are the games are there, and chess was called Ashtapad. Do you know? It is totally cancelled. No need to read this. Now see that arts and literature. On that time, what types of art and literatures? During the period of Emperor Ashoka, the arts of rock cut sculpture was promoted. Means on that time when Emperor Ashoka, on that period, on that time, the art of rock cut sculpture was promoted. The pillars erected by Ashoka are excellent specimens of Indian sculpture. There are excellent carving of animals like the lion, elephant, bull on these pillars. That means on their pillars there was excellent carving of animals like lion, elephant and bulls. The chakra or wheel on the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath has a place on honor on the Indian national flag. See the students, the chakra or wheel on the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath has a place of honor on the Indian national flag. That means we can see the Indian national flag chakra, we can see that in our honor of the Indian national flag. The pillar has a lion on all four sides, but only 3 are visible from the front. There are 4 lion space are there, but only 3 are visible. Okay, the pillar has lions on all 4 sides, but only 3 are visible. Visible means 3 we can see that, 4th we are not seeing, that is back side. Which are front, that only we can see that. This is the official seal of the Government of India, and this is the official seal of the Government of India. The cave sculpture at Barabar Hills carved during the period of Ashoka are well known. It is very, very famous. These caves are in Bihar. If you go to Bihar, that place we can see the cave. The cave name is Barabar Hills, that is carved during the period of Ashoka. They are the oldest cave sculpture in India, and these are the very oldest cave sculpture in India. After the death of Emperor Ashoka, the Maurya Empire began to decrease, means decline. After the Maurya, many new states and some empire also emerged in India, means after the Mauryas, many new states and some empire also appear in India. The Maurya Empire was the largest empire in ancient India. You know, student, the Maurya Empire was the largest empire in ancient India. In the next chapter, we shall discuss the political and culture happening in the post-Maurya period. That we discuss in the next lesson, next chapter. See, student, we will learn in this topic the Greek Emperor legend inventions and the Maurya Empire. You have to read this lesson twice. I hope that you understood this lesson. Student, in your textbook, exercise given here, question number 1, answer in one sentence. Question number 2, can you explain? Question number 3, recall and describe. Question number 4, match the following. Question number 5, what is your opinion? And question number 6, describe in your own words. So this is your assignment, student, I am giving to you as your homework. So you have to do this in your notebook. I hope that you understood this lesson. Thank you.